To get started, you want to arrange your threads on the board in the colour order that you want them. So I've got the background colour in the centre, and then I've got the colours for the stripes on either side. Now I'm working from a point, but you could do this from a flat edge if you wanted. So to get started, you're going to take the two outside threads, and you're going to take the one next to the outside thread, and you're going to knot away from the centre. And then you're going to switch positions and then knot towards the centre. And then you want to take the next one of your stripe colours and do the same thing again. So you want to knot away from the centre and then switch and knot towards the centre. And then working the rest of the row towards the centre, you want to work over your background colours, and you can just work towards the centre each time. So once you've done that side, you want to do the same thing at the other side. So your outside two colours, and take the one on the inside and work away from the centre the first time, and then work towards the centre the second time. And then repeat this with the next colour in your stripe pattern. And then knot towards the centre over the remainder of your background colours. And once you have both of your stripe colours in the centre, you can just knot these together. So for your next row, you want to take the colour next to the outside thread again and knot away from the centre the first time, and then towards the centre the second time. And then for the rest of your row, you're going to knot towards the centre. And at the other side, you want to do the same thing again. So taking your outside threads, take the one next to the outside thread, knot away from the centre, and then switch and knot towards the centre. And then knot towards the centre for the rest of your row. And then once both colours are in the centre, just knot them together. And for your next row, you're just going to take your outside colour, which will be the last one of your stripes, and you're just going to knot towards the centre over every thread. And once you get to your last thread in the centre, you want to take that one and knot away from the centre. And then you want to do the same thing at the other side. So take your outside thread and knot towards the centre until you get to your last thread. And once you get to your last thread, you want to take that one and knot away from the centre. And when you've got your 2 threads remaining in the centre, just knot them together. So for your next row, you're going to be working your background colours. So while you're working over the background colours, you can knot towards the centre each time. And then once you get to your first contrast colour, you're going to switch and use this one and knot away from the centre. And you're going to do the same thing with the next 2 threads. And then do the same thing at the other side. So taking your contrasting colour, you want to take that colour and knot away from the centre. And do the same for the rest of your contrast colours. And with your background colours in the centre, you can just knot these 2 together. So for your next row, you're going to repeat at the beginning what you did last time, and you're going to knot your background colours towards the centre. And for each contrast colour, you're going to switch, take that thread and knot away from the centre. And you want to do this for each contrast colour. And then when you're back to your background colour, just knot towards the centre. And you want to do the same thing at the other side. and then in the centre just knot together as usual. So for your next row, you're going to take the colour that's next to the outside thread and you're going to knot away from the centre. And you're going to do the same thing with your next two striped threads. And once you get to your background colours, again you can switch and then just knot towards the centre. And you want to repeat this at the other side. And then in the centre, just knot your two threads together again. So once you've done these rows, you'll have returned your colours back to the order they were at the beginning. So then you're just going to repeat the steps that you did from row 1 and keep repeating them all the way down until you've got a bracelet as long as you want it to be. And when you've finished, you should end up with something that looks like this. Now I've started off with a loop, but you can start off with a flat edge like I said before, and I've done 2 braided tail ends at the end to tie it on. If you're starting with a flat edge, you want to have 1 tail end at each end. And that is your completed triple striped diamond friendship bracelet.